Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Don't forget to follow my other YouTube channel called Money Rules. Link in the description below. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. I think often, I know, people like to start trouble for literally nothing. Like there's no actual reason that this was a thing other than to try and start some kind of argument or whatever the case might be. This was a very popular news story, and I'm going to tell you why it shouldn't have been popular at all. A recent report by The Defiant, has revealed that Coinbase is holding a substantial 11% of the total Bitcoin supply, amounting to approximately 2.2 million Bitcoin, worth around 129 billion US dollars at the time of me making this video. Coinbase has been around, I believe, since 2012 or 2013. Coinbase and Binance are the largest crypto exchanges on the planet. It makes a lot of sense why, having been around for more than a decade, that people would trust Coinbase, and therefore why Coinbase would have essentially 1 out of every 10 coins that are floating around. Remember, I told you before, for those of you who missed the stupid news, the guy who was the former head of Mt. Gox, Mark Karpeles, whatever his name is, he recently tried and is trying to launch another form of Mt. Gox, like another new crypto exchange. That was in the video a couple days ago. And I said, hey, you know, everyone out there, we don't need that. You don't have to use this. Like, there's no reason why we need especially cryptocurrency exchanges from a lot of people who've gone bankrupt or lost money before. Like the people from Terra Luna who were trying to create their own crypto exchange. Like Sam Bankman-Fried. Don't forget when FTX collapsed, a couple days later, he was in the news and said he wanted to create a brand new FTX. It makes a lot of sense that Coinbase is holding 11% of Bitcoin because they're Coinbase. However, the news was like, oh no, this is scary. We need to be terrified of this. As the 4th largest cryptocurrency exchange globally, Coinbase commands significant trading volume, $1.5 billion, yada, 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 34 million monthly users. They also act as a custodian for major corporations, including BlackRock, Tesla, MicroStrategy, and I think 7 of the 9 US Bitcoin ETF issuers. However, they say, this substantial concentration of Bitcoin within a single entity has raised important questions about a potential risk associated with such centralization. Nope, not one person was thinking that except for all the people who wrote articles like this when this news was released and then tried to tell other people on Twitter that this was a gigantic problem. You know why it's not a gigantic problem? Because Coinbase is one of the most regulated entities on the planet. I mean, if you want to hold and custody your own crypto, as long as you're legally able to do that where you live, go do it. Part of the reason why people put it on crypto exchanges and why I told you all before, if you have any questions about your money or your crypto or what happens to your crypto, because I'm sure in the back of many people's heads, if you put your crypto onto a crypto exchange and they disappear or they go belly up or something goes wrong, will you get your money back? Don't ask me that in the comment section. Contact the company who you're using. They will give you an answer as to what happens if A, B, or C should actually happen. This discussion is firmly firmly in stupid news, simply because I can almost smell it that this person who wrote this article and all the other articles I've been seeing is probably very new to the cryptocurrency space, because people tried having this conversation before a number of years ago. And it also popped up recently once again when we were talking about that 91% of all Bitcoin is owned by whales and rich people. People go, centralization, and it's like, no, it's just time. Over 15 years, if you chose not to buy Bitcoin at 1 cent, at $1, at $10, at $15, at $117, at $2,000, at $30,000, that's you. That's what you have to deal with. However, there are a number of other people who see the value in Bitcoin, believe that it's going over $1 million to $14 million to $40 million, etc., etc. So this is why they're buying. This is why the rich people hold all the Bitcoin, while they hold all the stocks, while they hold all the land, while they hold all the apartments and the housing, is because of just time and buying. Even crazier, when I said that this was news that was spoken about years ago, but then once you shut something down, people realize that they can't remain stupid forever, so they got to change the course of something. You can even look online. This is an article from 2019. It's actually quite difficult to find when you type in the word Coinbase in hot wallet or cold wallet or like whatever the case might be to figure out their numbers. 5 years worth of articles pop up of people on Reddit talking about that they don't know how to find their wallet on Coinbase. If you dig around, you figure out that the major crypto exchanges don't just have one wallet. No, my friend. That's also a commonly weird misconception. You know how, like, if you had, let's random number, if you had $100 million, you wouldn't just have one bank account. You know that, right? You wouldn't just have one asset. You would have potentially, more realistically, around 10 to 15 different bank accounts, and you'd have hundreds of properties and hundreds of this, and, you would diversify. Part of the problem that we learned many years ago was actually from Mt. Gox. Their issue, so saith history, is that the guy who was running it had one wallet address for all the Bitcoin he was holding. People logically assumed, hey, you're holding millions of dollars worth of an asset. You clearly have around 100 different wallet addresses. Nope, this guy had it all on one computer. So when these cryptocurrency exchanges popped up and everyone knew about Mt. Gox, because people keep forgetting that all these things happened, regulators were like, hey, can you please make sure that not all the money's in the same exact place? And that's why it says on the screen. In addition, a large majority of exchanges only have a few wallets with more than 20,000 Bitcoin as a cold wallet. And Coinbase constructs a cold wallet library address consisting of similar amounts, 8 to 10,000 Bitcoin. That means if they're holding millions of Bitcoin, they have dozens of different cold and hot wallets. And they make sure, for those of you who don't know what a cold and a hot wallet is, a hot wallet is something that is actively connected to their systems and online based off of like how much liquidity they think people need at any given time. But the cold wallets are like, like ledgers, like, like the cryptocurrency wallets that you don't always have plugged in your computer or, it's in a drawer somewhere. Those are cold wallets. They also hold crypto as a backup just in case that something should actually happen. So no, this isn't scary. This isn't terrifying. We have centralization because that's how markets work. If we lived in a perfect world, which we never will because the people are garbage, we would have a situation where people just custodied coins themselves. But a lot of people are afraid of doing that. Rightfully so. If you have, 5 figures just sitting on your computer, people are going to be scared. So we've been taught and trained to trust institutions and give them our money. And that's why Coinbase has 11% of all the Bitcoin. It's not scary. It's not evil. It's not weird. I actually assumed that it would have been 25%. As large as Coinbase actually is, 11% is a far lower than I would have assumed. They have dozens of different wallets. The risk rate is very low of all the coins getting stolen at once. It's near actually mathematically impossible because of the hot and the cold wallets. This isn't scary. It says the fallout of a potential Coinbase disaster. Do you have nothing better to do with your time than to write stupid articles? You have nothing. I don't know what it is with this cohort of hundreds of people within the space who have nothing better to do with their time than to try and scare other people. It's a common trend that I keep seeing over and over and over. All I can assume is that this person is either a maniac trying to scare people and or recently got into the cryptocurrency market, I want to say a month or two ago, and is just figuring out these numbers and they go, oh my gosh, centralization. But that's also like a red flag. You probably shouldn't be writing, and that goes for all of the articles that were written. You probably shouldn't be a journalist and or a cryptocurrency anything if you know nothing about the history. You're only just trying to scare people to manipulate prices. That's the Coinbase is holding 11% of the total Bitcoin supply, and it's not scary news. And yeah, let's move on. Also in news, I don't know why this was also so popular. Polygon Labs, the layer 2 network solution, shared on Tuesday that they are going to be unveiling a new type of computer chip that's optimized for zero-knowledge cryptography processing, built by hardware maker Fabric, specifically for Polygon's interoperability solution called AG Layer. The news comes as Fabric announced last month a $33 million Series A round, which Polygon Labs participated in, to create a verifiable processing unit, or a VPU, a custom chip designed for cryptography and for blockchains. It's not that it's not cool, but like super popular news is a little weird. Polygon was recently in the news for their network upgrade, where they essentially shifted their tokens from Matic to Pol, P-O-L, short for Polygon. Got it. And now they're basically investing in other things and doing other... there's also... I'll see if we can get to it. There's another news story. But for some reason, people in crypto forget that companies can do other things. Remember years ago when there were a lot of like Bitcoin companies who were like only investing in Bitcoin, and then some of them began to buy Litecoin and they were buying Ether and XRP, and people were kind of like annoyed because they didn't understand why a company would want to diversify in any sort of way. So yeah, that was also an issue when Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, when he announced in 2018, 2019 that he's also holding Bitcoin, and people were angry for like a month. Why are you holding Bitcoin? It's our rival. It's like, no, that's not. If you want to stay broke, I mean, that's one way to, you need to diversify. You need to dip your toes into other investments. That's how you make more money. So the people from Polygon are probably doing just swell. But if they can get into like creating chips for cryptography and future blockchains, well, you're probably going to do it. That's the Polygon news. Yeah, this was also controversial in some sort of way. I don't know what's going on, but all right, let's move on. This news I'm going to call, I called it several times. I knew it was going to happen because it keeps happening this way, and it's been happening since 2018. Yeah, definitely 2018. It's been happening the exact same way. So, as I've mentioned before in other videos, and for some of you who don't and won't remember what I mentioned was going to happen, Cardano, for whatever reason, is a really weird hype chain where the only thing that seems to be working is like announcing that something's going to happen after something else already happened. You'll see exactly what you'll see. I prom. Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson has recently unveiled a brand. Oh, here we go. He unveiled it. A brand new blueprint to significantly enhance the scalability of the Cardano blockchain. I can't wait to see what it is. I'm very excited. In a tweet, Cardano developer Input Output Global IOG shared a game-changing, this is going to change the game. A game-changing statement made by Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson at a recent event that touched on making Cardano the best in class in scalability. Not forgetting that about 8 days ago, Charles Hoskinson said that Cardano was already the best blockchain and that Bitcoin was going to, I'm paraphrasing here, perish, was going to disappear because of how amazing Cardano already was. He said, and I quote, Leos, L-E-I-O-S, I'm going to say Leos, is going to provide a dramatic, increase in layer 1 performance, complemented by rollups coming to Plutus, V3, and Hydra. These things together will be for best in class for scalability, the IOG tweet citing the Cardano founder reads, "You heard it here first. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. They did it again." The way that Cardano works, the entire ecosystem, is that they announce that they're going to have multiple upgrades and or one big gigantic upgrade, and it's going to change the game, and it's going to be revolutionary, and no one's going to be able to keep their hat on their heads or their dentures in their mouth because they'll be spinning because of all the confusion. Oh my gosh, how amazing. But then what ends up happening is they take a year and a half to actually release that upgrade or update. Once again, not knocking it, as I am not a developer. I do not code. I don't understand how difficult it might be. However, I will say it, but many other chains do it in like 6 months, or they wait like 2 months before it's actually ready, and then they test net it, and then they say that it's going to happen, as opposed to announcing a year and a half before to try and get the chain all hyped up and stuff like that. They released the upgrade, which also just happened at the, was it the beginning of September? What was it called? Poopadoop? What was it? I don't know. They have so many weird names. No, wait. Athena? Margaret. I don't know what the name was anymore. But that released, and that was supposed to be the game changer, the thing. But then what happens with Cardano every single time is that when one upgrade happens and no real hype happens, they announce the next one. So the next one that we have to look forward to is called Leos. He said Leos is going to provide a dramatic increase in layer 1 performance, complemented by rollups, Plutus, Hydra, scalability. Read the paper. And then there's a little link for it right there. So we probably won't actually have this upgrade until, I'm going to say, December 2025 or February 2026. I wish there was a way that we could like matrix that, like to kind of tack it on a board somewhere, because it's going to take a very long time. This is what Cardano does. This is what I've been telling you for a number of years. So anyone who was skeptical before, back in good old 2018, 2019, because back then Cardano was like January, March, February, July, April. We're going to have all these upgrades and updates. You're not going to even understand what's happening. And then they were like, November, next March. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Remember all those people? I don't know if they still do it. Remember all those YouTubers who used to like salivate for Cardano? I think they've all maybe disappeared. I'm not really sure. I remember one of them was like, yeah, they told me that stuff was coming out and then it never came out. And I was like, what? That's crazy. Yeah, Cardano works. The chain works, but they've kind of been marred by a large number of controversies. Yeah, I'm very bougie. Where basically they don't and haven't been getting a large amount of partnerships or as much news, I would say, as XRP or Ethereum or Polygon or Bitcoin, kind of like that. So cool. It'll be exciting to see when this happens. As I mentioned before, and I'll keep saying it over and over, yes, I do hold Cardano for those of you who are furiously typing in the comment sections. I got Cardano a number of years ago, still holding on to it. But Cardano probably also has maybe 1 or 2 cycles left, as I was mentioning before, because, yeah. Cool. I told you it was going to happen. Wait. It's okay. September, October. I'm going to say end of October, November. End of October, November. We're going to hear about another upgrade to Cardano that is going to also be revolutionary and is going to change the game and is going to make world a better place for you and for me. End of October, November. It's going to have another, I'm going to say Majamados. Majamados is going to be announced sometime in October, November for Cardano, and you're not going to see that until 2027. Majamados. That's the Cardano news. Cool. Awesome. Fantasticals. Okay. Let's move on. Next up. Also, in confusing popular news, people didn't this was one of the most popular news stories. And you'll never there's nothing in your head that can conceptualize the words that I'm about to say and why it makes so much sense. Tether, the issuer of Tether, has acquired a 9.8% stake in Latin America's agricultural powerhouse called Adecoagro. Okay, for $100 million US. Adecoagro is a leading company in the agricultural sector in Latin America, particularly in Argentina and Brazil. The company is one of the largest milk producers in Argentina and manages more than 193,000 hectares of sugarcane crops in Brazil, from which it produces sugarcane. That makes a lot of sense. Tether's purchase was disclosed in a Schedule 13D filing, in which the company stated that its intention to hold the shares for investment purposes. That's usually what companies do. However, the filing also noted that Tether may adjust their stake in the company based on a variety of factors, including stock price, market conditions, and developments within the country. Wait, so you're meaning to tell me that they're investing in a stock and they might buy more or sell depending on market conditions or what's happening within the region? Well, that's revolutionary. No one's ever done that before. The news, everyone, is that Tether has purchased a stake, 9.8% they own of this company in this agricultural powerhouse in Latin America. That's the news. Do you want to know why it was crazy or weird or controversial news? Because people didn't understand that companies can go outside of what they're doing and invest in other things. I'm not joking. Remember, this was last year when we got this news. This was also controversial. For those of you who missed it, Tether is the leading stablecoin issuer. They're making, I believe, like $50 billion or something per month or per quarter. It's an enormous amount of money, just from issuing Tether and companies and people using it. You all on the same page with me? Good. They said and they announced that they're going to start actually allocating 15% of their profits from using the stablecoin to actually buy Bitcoin. And people went crazy because people didn't understand that Tether might not just be Tether. Do you understand that? People didn't conceptualize that Tether would be using their billions of dollars to do other things as opposed to just creating more Tether. So they announced that every quarter they're buying with 15% of their profits, they're buying millions and sometimes low billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. That's how companies work. This is how things happen. You know that the people from like LVMH and Gucci and Apple, that they also don't just buy more Apple stock. The people from Louis Vuitton aren't taking their billions of dollars and going into a Louis Vuitton store and buying their own clothes, right? These people buy cities. I told you that before as well. If you get a chance, look up who owns one tenth of London. It's gonna send you for a loop. Look up who owns nearly half of Rome. The way that money works and the way that you become richer is by diversifying. That's why the Polygon thing also isn't weird. They're branching into chips because chips are a major thing. So as the world continues to, how do I say this? Remember I told you before, all like the farmable land and lakes and water and homes continue to be bought up by the rich. These are the rich. Yeah, Tether's the people, they're incredibly wealthy. So what they do with their money is A, their own prerogative, but also B, I'm not joking, people in other articles were asking if Tether was going to start mining Tether, which is not a thing in Latin America. Why would you be getting into an agricultural company if you're just about crypto? How could you possibly be doing anything else? If you get a chance, watch a documentary on like diversifying and how to diversify. Because for like the beginning tiers, if you will, within the financial world, a lot of times you'll hear buy stocks, buy bonds, buy gold, buy crypto. The layers that actually come after that are quite substantial. Especially when you're making like millions of dollars, billions of dollars, you kind of invest in everything. Remember, okay, here, last point. Remember when we heard from, for those of you who missed this news, this is what got me ripping and roaring. Last year, there was a report that was given out to BlackRock's largest companies who they work with. And it said, so normally you will hear that when there's like, if you're mega wealthy and you want to have an allocation into something, you tend to have a 1% allocation like from your money. Let's say you have $100 million. You put 1% into here, 1% into there. That's how like big money works. For those of you who missed it, BlackRock had that thing. And I think the number was, I think they said that that company should have an 84. I think the number was 84% allocation into Bitcoin. And that was right before Bitcoin like literally went from like 16,000 to where it currently is right now. What you normally do as a mega company, you see that you're making tons of profits and you go, we got to make more, but in other sectors. Do you know how Dubai and most of the UAE has continued to like thrive? They realized in the 70s that petrol at some point was going to dry up. Listen, like really, like this is exactly what it is. They also had people like analysts who said, hey, we're also foreseeing, because we've had electric car technology since the 60s and 70s. But large manufacturing companies didn't want those products to get out because those companies also own gigantic stakes in BP and these other petrol companies. So they have to keep the money constantly flowing to them. So at some point, some companies were like, we got to make EVs a thing. Electric vehicles have to so-and-so, and they began to be released. What happens is that you allocate small portions of that money into other things. That's how the Middle East, a lot of it, has thrived. because they saw in the 60s and 70s that they had to start changing this land into something else. Around the 90s, with the introduction of the internet for everyone, these countries then came together and they said, we need to figure out another industry to get people to come here and give us money. Dubai, UAE. This is how they're so rich. It's because they pivoted years ago and they realized we can't just rely on oil. So now they have dozens of other industries. Why did you think that the UAE and Dubai, I know they're all together, but whatever, why they got cryptocurrency regulations so quick? It's another new industry that they can get in early on. You don't wait to the last minute and go, oh no, the oil dried up. What do we do? You think ahead. So as a company, no one knows if Tether is going to be around in 25 years. But agriculture still will be. Making computer chips will still be a thing. And all the other things they invest in. Yeah, look into diversifying. Like this is how big money makes their money. A lot of people think that like you get into real estate and that's it. This guy made his millions from real estate. He doesn't do anything. No, this guy also owns a bunch of other things. Even if you had $100 million, you would still probably also have at least a $1 million allocation into gold. Gold might not be your best producing asset, but you still have to like diversify into it. Anywho, yeah, popular confusing news. A lot of people were discussing it and they still couldn't understand why they would do this. Rightio. I think that's going to do it for this video. I do hope that you all enjoyed, ? I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.